So sometimes when you're looking for the big, you can miss the small. So Kathy and I going on missions is big. We need lots of money, and there's a lot of things that we're thinking about right now. But when you focus so much on the big, sometimes you miss, God in the small. And so here's something in the small that I feel like was the hand of God. So basically, we've been trying to sell our camper. Well, we sold it. Well, let me tell you how it happened, because sometimes the small looks so inconsequential that you don't even know, well, is God doing anything? But the reality is, He is. So I went to go show my camper to someone, and they loved it. And they basically said, you really should post this on Facebook groups, because there's people that are looking for campers just like this on Facebook groups. I didn't even know they existed. So I ended up posting it, and somebody approached us from Columbia, South Carolina, and said, hey, I want to come up and see it. Well, at this time, I'd shown the camper to a number of people, and they all loved it, but there was some work that needed to be done on the plumbing, and there was some work that needed to be done on the back side of the camper. And so most of them said, I love it, but I don't want to do that work. So, it was getting a little discouraging. Well, this lady came in from Columbia, South Carolina, and the backstory for her is that as a child, her dad took her in this exact style of camper, not the exact camper, but the same year and the same model Franklin camper. She grew up in this camper as a kid. So even though she was a little concerned about the work that was done, it had such an emotional tie to her childhood, that she wanted to show her dad that she had found this exact camper from 1965. You know what? I see God's hand in those two little events. The suggestion of putting on Facebook is how I found this lady, or how she found us, and then how important it was to her. And I've written a blog about, a couple weeks ago called Everybody Wins, the giver and the receiver. And in this particular case, as the receiver, we won. We were able to sell the camper for, I'll tell you that in a moment. And then she won because she got something that was incredibly meaningful to her. I had actually asked for, I think, $6,000 for the camper, but in prayer, I really sensed that I should set the price to $4,500. Now, I had more money into that. I'd put more money into it. I had more money into it. But I was really sensing in prayer, I need to set this as the price. And sure enough, when the lady came in, she gave it to us in cash. And these are just some of the small things God is doing as a part fulfilling our vision and our hope of going to the nations with the gospel, starting with YWAM and Kona, and then going on to the nations. So just a quick encouragement to you guys. Sometimes when we're looking for the big, I want my marriage restored, I want our house to sell, I want to change my job, we're missing the small that God is doing. So don't miss the small, because God is in the small.